Now comes the fun. After an outfit change here, laying down in the snowbank to come get that camera. Should have some pretty sweet views. I get to see it from the truck side. Alright, so why do I like plowing so much? It's fun. It's a way to play around and kill time in the UP. Winter months up here are really long. And you get to see it from a truck side perspective. This is the first time I've filmed and talked to the camera at the same time. It's like having a little passenger. This is the remote, by the way. So we have angle back on the right side, angle back on the left side, angle out on the front, left and right, up and down with the plow, both the buttons together to create a V formation, and forward for the scoop. The scoop is the preferable method when you're plowing. Like I said, unless you want to go angle, is when you're plowing for long distances and want the snow to roll away from the truck and push it towards a direction. You need to account for where the snow is going to dissipate after it melts off and everything, and try to push the snow so it doesn't create a water hole or anything like that as well. I think the longest I've ever gone out plowing is probably from 6 to maybe about 1 o'clock in the morning, so 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. Then slept for a few hours and then got up and plowed from 4 a.m. to 7:15, and went to work 8 to 5, come back, plow 6 a.m. to 1 a.m. and then repeat the process. I've done that for a couple snowstorms here and there. Makes for long days, but I get enjoyment out of it, that's for sure. Not quite sure how this video is going to turn out, but can kind of explain what I do in the cab as I'm rocking out. I got music cranked. Some people like to listen to a movie and all that stuff too, and drive, but looks like somebody is up in the ditch, and it looks like a couple people are helping out anyway, so I'm gonna do a detour here. Doesn't look to be too serious. Looks like just a couple people in a snowbank, so. Yeah, the winters can be wild up here, that's for sure. I mean, as you can see, probably some of the snowbanks as we're passing by, they get pretty tedious, and we're not even in it's middle of January right now. And we still have some of our heaviest snowfall months yet to come. Might be another year where I'll have to get a loader in to move some of the snow. Alright, so riding in the cab for me plowing. Here, we'll see. Basically drop my blade off first and then try to start closest to the road. And then start lifting up as I get closer to the snowbank. Depends on how packed I want to get the snowbank. I might try to pack the bottom first and then raise up the snowplow. Raise up the snowplow and plow again. Basically, I try to keep as much as I can in a V formation. If I'm making longer runs, then I'll angle the plow one way or the other, depending on which way I want the snow to roll. Probably tell each time I hit a bank. Big old shake in the truck. Some people make a pretty decent living out of doing this, but working full time, I'd rather rather keep my day job for the time being anyways. Just something that I've newly gotten into. Basically, you need to keep track of all your surroundings, whether it be backing up, moving forward, keeping your eyes in front of the plow, making sure that you stay a good safe distance away from things so you don't tag anything. I'm just doing this on a very small scale and just for fun, so I'm not out here to make money with it or anything, so just do it to help people out. Hopefully I don't get stuck in while I'm filming this, because it'd be pretty embarrassing as far as we don't have a lot of snow, just enough to warrant plowing, and that's about it. Obviously you saw in some of the other videos, or not other videos, but once I get everything together here, doesn't take very long, and it gets pretty warm in the truck too. I like to keep my window down, otherwise I'll sweat to death. Yeah, basically just keep track of things in your mirror. A lot of people don't have time to move their vehicles or anything, but especially when they're plowing a lot of snow and everything. Lucky for me, I've got a fairly decent amount of time to be polite enough to ask people to move their vehicles, which I will be doing here in a second. And I'll be right back. Alright, let's get out of the way. Yeah, try not to impede traffic, but like I said, people that do this for a living and do big businesses and all that stuff don't really have time to have people move their vehicles, because basically that would take forever, and then some people aren't home to move their vehicles, so people like to do that, and time is money, so, and really it's not up to the responsibility for us plowing to have people move their vehicles, whether or not that's going to be a statement on either way. But now we just sit here and wait. This is the part that I was talking about. Now basically when you're plowing, you want to make sure you get all the hard spots first, and then if you can, try to push everything to one location and take push everything to one location and do one swipe. Because if you keep running over the same spot, you're wasting a lot of time. The name of the game is to be efficient as possible with what you got. And now we continue. snowplow driver will tell you, I don't care who they are, backblading is by far the worst for a snowplow driver and for the customer or the person that you're plowing for. The blade is designed to push snow forward. It's the way that the cutting edge is cut. Anything trying to backblade causes the blade, because of its angle, causes it to lift and come off the ground. Plus the weight of the plow is not heavy enough to sustain the amount of snow and pressure that you have when you're backblading. So in turn, as it builds up over time, it just adds a layer upon layer upon layer, and pretty soon you got, you know, maybe 12 inches or so at the end of the season for people trying to get in their garages. And that causes a headache for them to get in and out of it, and just adds worse and more time to you as a snowplow driver. The other thing I like about plowing too is it's kind of a therapeutic thing for me. Basically just a motion of going back and forth and back and forth. Leaves little to think about except for your surroundings. Just a golden boy having fun. Another bad time for a snowplow driver is the first couple snowfalls of the year. You're either left with digging up the yard or leaving a trim setting up. So basically you're leaving probably a couple inches of snow off the ground. And basically, the first couple of snowstorms are usually wet and heavy, and the ground hasn't had a chance to freeze yet. So basically, you're left, either your choices are digging up or being not as clean. But come this time of year where the ground has got a chance to freeze over, basically it creates a nice little hard pack for your plow to ride on, and 99% of the time, oh, I guess ambulance and everything are there. 99% of the time, you don't have to worry about digging up the yard because the ground is already frozen. On the flip side of that, though, if you need to move banks and everything like that, you're pretty much out of luck because the ground is froze over, and so are the snow banks. Alright, isn't this fun? Trying to figure out how to climb up there and get the camera. Oh yeah, nice and wet now. Alright, that's it. Catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for being a part of Yooper channel. Like and subscribe below.